I haven't been able to work for a long time, and I'm facing possibly losing my job. And how I could possibly do a 7.5 hour day, I can't even begin to imagine that being possible at the moment.
You like this, right? Knowing ME, knowing you, I, Alan Partridge, talk to ME sufferers about the condition. We intersperse it with their favourite pop songs, make it light-hearted, give them a platform. You've got to keep the energy up because you can't fail. No, you don't like it, that's all right. No. That's okay.
Hello and welcome. This is a short chat about long COVID. Thought I would start with a little bit of humorous stuff there. Alan Partridge talking about ME. Of course, ME is also a post-viral syndrome, and just like long COVID is, and it was called yuppie flu. But anyway, I'll probably get on to people's attitude towards long COVID in another video. But here I thought I would talk about I'm going to talk about my long COVID, not it's not sort of an educational thing generally about long COVID. It's just a vlog. So I'm going to talk about how I came to have long COVID and what I guess the initial symptoms, signs and symptoms were, and sort of how it developed. And I'm going to keep it as short as possible. You've got to keep the energy up. So I am 52. Can you believe it? In the end of 2019. When literally COVID had just appeared, I was admitted to hospital. I had very, very bad flu, and I was on oxygen and had intravenous antibiotics and all sorts. Felt really rough, and I'm pretty sure I had COVID then, but of course they didn't have a test. So I was told I had flu. Clearly it showed up the same as COVID, but as I say, it's strange because I was sitting in hospital watching the news, and it was all about this new this new virus that was in China, and was thinking, I wonder if it'll come here. It's very likely I had it. Anyway, I was also diagnosed officially with COVID in March. Which often I think it resurfaces a month or two later in people. So it was good to know that I definitely had it. In February, I remember a few occasions where I was at work and I suddenly felt extremely tired about 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon. And funnily enough, I remember thinking then maybe it's because I had flu, and maybe this is a bit of a post-viral thing, fatigue, feeling a bit tired. But in March, when I had COVID and it was officially diagnosed, it wasn't that bad. I think it was the second time. It could have been the first. It wasn't that bad. I felt unwell, but no worse than a normal virus. And as far as I can recall, it was about April, May time that I actually started to find that I was needing to lie down and have a sleep in the afternoon. Now, just to say, I hadn't ever had an afternoon nap for about probably 25 years. Up till that point, I never lay down in the afternoon, had a sleep. But I was actually shielding. I've got respiratory problems, so I was shielding. I couldn't go into work. I was actually working from home, so officially I wasn't really shielding, but I was keeping myself safe. as safe as I could. And I think initially, for quite a long time, I just assumed, well, I'm off work, I'm at home, I'm probably just sleeping in the afternoon because there's nothing better to do, sort of thing. My main symptom is fatigue, which I think is common for a lot of sufferers of long COVID. And for me, I am pretty good in the morning. I get about 5 hours, 5.5 hours probably, from about 8 a.m. to about 12:30. Then I'm going to have lunch. I try and have lunch early now, so that I can not do too much before I get too tired, which is the key really with long COVID. And as soon as I've eaten, within usually half an hour, so now it's very reliable for me, the sleep. I usually by 1:30 I cannot stay awake anymore. I was getting palpitations, that's reduced, but I still get them, especially when I'm tired. So my heart will be thumping, sort of feeling like it's out of rhythm. Eyes stinging in much the way that they do when you've been up all night, and you know, in the morning, you know, if you're awake for a long period, as I have been because I've done a lot of night work, your eyes get very sore and start stinging, and I get that, so it's almost impossible to keep them open because they hurt, and that's it. And I will sleep usually for, I would say, an average of 2 to 2.5 hours. On occasion I've gone to sleep and woken up at 6 p.m. or sometimes 5 p.m. And as I say, the sort of reliability of the fatigue is just terrible. I mean, for me, it's really every single day now for about 3 years. I've had to sleep in the afternoon, and this is on a baseline. If you think about it, I was working a full-time job before, 7.5 hours. I'd get up at 6:30, get to work at 7:30 on the bus. I used to go on the bus, walk up the hill, get to work till 3:30. That's my 7.5 hours. Get home by 4:30, and obviously feel fine until bedtime at 10:30, 11. Now I'm at home, usually on my computer in the morning, watching YouTube, editing videos, doing a few bits and pieces, but I'm exhausted by as I say, about 1:30 usually. So it's I haven't been able to work for a long time, and I'm facing possibly losing my job, and how I could possibly do a 7.5 hour day, I can't even begin to imagine that being possible at the moment. And there's been no change. So that's my first segment. Thank you for watching. Do like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, etc. I do a lot of reaction videos and some silly stuff and funny stuff, hopefully. So keep watching, and I'm going to make more videos like this. Hope you found that useful. If you're a sufferer of long COVID, please comment below. That would be really good. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.